Mr. President, it's a pleasure to have you here. I understand you have something special to talk about tonight. This really has me nervous, so why don't I let you tell it?
Thank you, David. Yes, I'll do that. This may come as a shock to many, but I thought your program would be a good venue to apologize for my past non-action and explain the reasons for my decision now to fully back the legalization of marijuana.
Wow, ha ha ha. We really are going to make news tonight, aren't we? Are you sure this is the right venue?
Well, I understand that the reason marijuana legalization failed in California a while back came down to a certain voting bloc, namely LA women, who feel their kids would be more likely to use weed if it were legalized.
And, you think my program draws them in? I wish.
Well, I don't know, really, but I'll bet they hear about it.
Ha ha ha. You could lay this rap down anywhere and be heard. Wow, so tell me, ha ha ha, what is it exactly you think you can say to change their minds?
Well, they, LA women, represent the voting minds that need to be changed. So I say to them, do it for the kids.
Mr. President, have you lost your mind? Ha ha ha. Have you been talking it up backstage? Eh?
No, just hear me out.
Come on, I remember that photo of you kicking back smoking a big fatty back in the day.
No, look. Well, yes, I remember that picture, but it's been a long time. I'm straight now. But yes, I am the first president to be elected with a picture of him smoking dope out there for all to see. It was amazing the way the mainstream media loved me so much they didn't even talk about it to speak of. Ha ha ha. Some folks online claim it doesn't look like a joint in my fingers, it's too fat, whatever, ha ha ha. Are they for real? Really, anyone with a clue who sees that picture of me chillaxing with the classic thumb and index finger grip on the joint, and those slits for eyes, knows I was RIPPED ripped. There might have been a quaalude involved too, but hey, who can remember? Good times.
Oh, man. Do you think maybe that's too much information? Do you think?
Hey, it's come clean time.
Well, that's fine. But what about this do it for the kids thing? That sounds crazy.
I'll get to that. But Dave, I just want to remind everyone that I said during my first campaign that I wouldn't be using Justice Department resources to overrule state laws allowing medical marijuana. But instead we have cracked down harder than ever before in states like California, in total disregard for states' rights. I really haven't even offered a voice against it. So I've broken my promise, and I apologize.
No. Yeah, well, that's not the only states' rights issue you've had, is it? But hey, what about this do it for the kids thing? What's up with that?
Right, well, about the kids. People often note that drug cartels would disappear if marijuana was legal and therefore inexpensive. There is no doubt about that. Follow the money. But people assume cheap weed would bring more users along with it. In fact, something else is going on. Across the country we now have an underground sales force busy glamorizing and encouraging dope smoking among our children. This can disappear with the cartels. This same sales force includes really bad folks with connections to ruthless people who pass on ruthless philosophy to our kids. This same sales force is key to any notion that weed is a gateway drug, since these pushers carry other drugs for sale to our kids, and love to give free samples, with a conspiratorial smile. Legalize weed, in fact legalize most drugs perhaps, and this lousy sales force will disappear virtually overnight for the sudden lack of profit available. You just can't negate this simple wisdom. Freedom actually works. Let me drive it home. Many of you will know of high school kids themselves, who once managed to turn on the bulk of whole damn high schools. If that scenario isn't familiar to you, ask around, then follow the money to realize what's really been happening. It isn't uncommon for even non-using kids to be found selling dope to classmates. It's all about the money. Black market profits have been driving marijuana use for generations. And so it goes. So yes, I say take the money away from weed and drug pushers through legalization. Do it for the kids. LA women, change your minds on this issue. Please.
Mr. President, I think you were on a roll.
Realize that fewer of your kids will use marijuana if it is legalized. Believe what I'm telling you. Nothing government does now really stops people from trying things they want to try, but when pot is legal, bad folks won't encourage its use, and those who try it won't need to come in contact with bad cutthroat individuals to get it. Bad folks won't influence our kids insidiously with an eye for an eye philosophy, or worse. Those individuals will have to resort to legal work. It will be a better world with far safer streets. The Al Capones of the world came to an end with the end of the prohibition on alcohol, and so will drug gangs with the end of the prohibition of marijuana and, yes, possibly even other drugs too. Once again, LA women, vote the next chance you get and help legalize weed for the kids.
All right, you surprised me. Folks, I think he's in his right mind after all. LA women, for the kids. Ha ha ha, makes me think of the song by Jim Morrison and the Doors. Good night, everyone.